Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm scrapbooking a couple Christmas photos. Now this is from Christmas morning last year, and I've got some fun products. I have this kitchen tile stencil from Brutus Monroe and a couple Chroma Glazes and a Chroma Pen. So let's see what I can do. Okay, so I am using the kitchen tile stencil right here. I am grabbing my beautiful Chroma Glazes and I am going to apply it through the stencil. Now I do pull the Chroma Glaze out of the jar with a palette knife and spread it across it's an old hotel room key. You could use an old gift card, an old credit card. Don't do YouTube videos with an old credit card though, guys. Nobody needs to see the numbers. And I'm just going to spread that around so that you can see it. And it's like a thin amount. And I'm just not really working it a whole lot. I don't want to get stencil seepage. I do get some. That is because I don't clean off my stencil in between applications. So do as I say and not as I do. And if you're going to repeatedly use your stencil, clean it off. Otherwise you will get stencil seepage. So again, I'm just using that old hotel room key to go ahead and get all of my glaze through that stencil. Now I did pick the pearl Chroma Glaze to go over top of my black cardstock, and then I picked the gold Chroma Glaze to go over top of my white cardstock. I just figured that that would make the most impact. It would give me the most bang for my buck. Now I do love watching stencils. Like, I just love it. I love watching the stencil get filled in with its media, whether it's Chroma Glaze, glitter glaze, ink, velveteen glaze, all of the good stuff, right? Like, I just love watching it and then having the stencil pulled up and then you get that beautiful reveal. I adore it. It's one of my favorite things to watch on videos, so you guys are going to be able to see it here as well. So now that I have that one done, I'm going to do the same thing and go ahead and fill in the stencil one more time. Now, when I was originally planning this layout in my head, I thought I was going to cut out these stencils into 4 squares, and I was just going to trim down the edges, and I was going to have them kind of hugely gridded style on my 12 by 12 sheet of paper here. It didn't go that way. I ended up doing something different, and that's just because I loved the way that these stenciled pieces of paper looked together. I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous, right? Like, these are gorgeous. I was thinking about just putting them both down on top of the pattern paper, but then I decided, nope, I don't like that either. It just is kind of taking away from the overall look of my layout. And I don't want to take away from these beautiful glazes that went through the stencil. I want it to be enhanced. So I grabbed some papers from my stash and I decide to matte my stenciled art pieces, because I mean, they're art pieces. Like, a stenciled project is an art piece. No qualms about it, no ifs, ands, or buts. I just think it is a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Now, originally, I was going to have these guys go vertically here. Like, I thought this was what I wanted. I was going to have, you know, my photos go in the same direction. I have vertical photos. I was going to make my pieces vertical, and I'm struggling with that decision. I don't know if you can tell, because I'm keeping on moving things around and just kind of staring at it and trying to will it into submission. Like, do you ever do that when you're working on a project and you see it in your head a certain way and it's not coming out that way, and you're just like, do it, like, just do it, turn into what I want you to do. So this this project doesn't. It does not turn into what I want it to do. But I quickly realized the only thing I have to do is give my layout a quarter of a turn and I am completely happy. So while I might not like this, even though this is what I originally had in my head after my first idea of doing a big grid pattern, I decide to go ahead and pull out the winter texture paper collection, and I'm going to give myself a photo mat. So I put my husband's photo on red paper, and then I put my photo on this kind of like, I don't know if it's really tan or khaki or gold. It's kind of like this big conglomerate of all these colors, and I'm going to mat my photo on that one. And originally I was thinking, you know, darker photo with the darker background piece, lighter photo mat with the lighter background piece. But I'm like struggling with this. It just feels weird. It just feels weird. So I turn it and I'm like, oh, this works so much better. I'm like, do I want to turn it that way? Nope, I like it this way. I like the darker paper here on the bottom. It gives weight to the bottom of the page. And since the papers are kind of crooked anyway, it doesn't feel like it's going to fall down now because I do have this weighted kind of shelf at the bottom of the page. I pull out this acrylic piece from my stash, and I'm just going to glue it down right over here on top of that stenciled piece. And this allows me to have a lot more of that stencil showing than if I would have put like a block or something over there and put the title on top of that. Now I say that and then I cover up a little bit of the stencil down here at the bottom, but I really felt like I needed a place to be able to journal. And I felt like a little doily was going to give me a little fun decorative bit instead of just a piece of paper down here. So I adhere the doily down and I go ahead and I journal right directly on top of it, which isn't something I think I do a whole heck of a lot. I don't think I doily journal a lot, but I like the way it turned out. So I'm just going to dollop some glue on top of that title piece, and I'm going to place it down here at the top. Now at this point I'm thinking I want more red on my layout. I want this layout to kind of scream Christmas. So I grab that Chroma Pen in red and I'm just going to put little dollops down on the edges of some of the stenciled area, and I'm making sure to put the same ones everywhere. Now I do screw up and do a big old glob, and then I wipe it off with my finger, and that just puts the color into the white cardstock. So there is a little bit of extra red on my layout, but you know what, I'm going with it, and I just decide to go ahead and add even more red, throwing down more little dollops of this. And then that is going to do it for the layout, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble about my love of stencils. And I will see you guys again real soon for another video.